one day I'm gonna ride on one of those. Welcome to the skies of Piltover. Today I'm showing off my Minecraft build of the Arcane Airship inspired by League of Legends Arcane. This isn't a direct replica from the show, but it's a reimagined version based off of a detailed 3D model I had found online from Arcane. So, let's get into it. Now, the goal of this build is to capture the spirit and silhouette of the airship. You know, the sweeping curves, the steampunk design that just makes Arcane so unique. So I found a 3D model as the base, since in the show it's kind of hard to see all the details of the airship. You kind of just have that like couple of scenes where Patty's like, one day I'm gonna ride on one of those. And then when Jinx is sailing away at the end of the series, and it's really difficult to make out all the intricate details that Arcane has of the airship, not steams, hello, English, of the airship. So I found a model from Arcane online, which I'll put in the video, of the airship, and I use that as my basis to design everything. So if it's not 100% accurate to the show, don't come for me, because I really did try, spent a lot of time trying to find all the little details to work into this. But yeah, so then I translated it into Minecraft block by block. So working with the 3D model meant I could focus on a lot of the proportions and the visual flow. I'm not just working from, what's in my head or from ideas I kind of have. I had a solid, draft or blueprint to follow. So it was really interesting kind of trying to visualize and work out how all the different parts were going to show up in Minecraft, whereas normally it's just on a screen. So not everything was visible obviously in the show, so there are some creative liberties that I had to take to kind of make the curves work. A lot of the airship's best qualities are the curves of the different parts of the airship. So you have like the giant blimp part, and then you have like these extra winged sides. So some of them are a little bit more 3D, some of them are a little more flat. It really was just according to the 3D model that I found. And some of the edges are a little wonky compared to the model, but trying to create a curvature in Minecraft can be a little tricky sometimes. I would say this is definitely one of my most technical exterior builds. Hello, English. As I said, the curves are really tricky, so you'll see me have some trial and error with it. as for the blocks I used the white concrete because that seemed very cloud-like and something I could manipulate really easily. I needed a block that was going to be pretty bland, honestly, because when you have a lot of a certain block and then you're going to add more detail onto it, sometimes it can get just a little too crazy. So I wanted something plain, so I chose the white concrete, and that's gonna be what the sails and masts are made out of for the airship. And then for the framing, I chose spruce wood because I found that fit most closely with the color palette that I could find online for Arcane. I was pulling up different reference images, trying to figure out, is this steel, is this wood? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm still not entirely sure. So I kind of worked in a couple different blocks that looked similar. So obviously I used the spruce. I think I stripped some of the logs for like the main overcasting of it. And then I used a lot of the spruce wood planks to give like the rims or the edging of the airships, like the support beams, to add that texture. And then under the airship, like where you would actually inhabit the airship, I have like these tough bricks because when I put up the references from Arcane, it looked really close to like that grayish color that the show used a lot of in terms of like cargo materials, if that makes sense. So I used that for like the main wall of the cabin part of the airship. And then I used, again, the spruce wood with some barrels to add a bit more texture. And then I incorporated both the log. I would do a log and then a stone pillar from the tough bricks, like a tough brick stone pillar, and then a wood fence, and then a pillar, and then log. And I used that to help create some of the pillar-like structures, because in the model you'll see there's a lot of curves around the actual cabin area. So I would use that as like my pillars. And then I would use the spruce stairs to create some of that like arch feeling, and I would use that in between them to create that like kind of circly, curvy effect. And then I also added towards the end some of the gate doors along the spruce logs at the top, and I opened them all. That also gave me a lot of texture, and it looked like an extra little detail that just it kind of needed. Now, as for the inside of the cabin, I kind of resorted to just intuition. I figured, what would they have inside a giant airship? Probably a lot of storage. So I just put a bunch of barrels, and then I just kind of finished it out with some lanterns. Really, really simple. Like, nothing to know about for this part. But yeah, if you're going to try and make your own version of this, a few suggestions I have is find a block you really like to work with. You're going to be looking at it a lot, especially that white concrete. And then if you're building the actual balloon part of it, or the blimp, a really good strategy I use is I would kind of just shell out an idea of what I wanted, and then I would build off of one side, and I'd zoom out and I'd look at it, and then I'd go back and I'd adjust, and I would do this back and forth, and that really helped me kind of perfect the shape that I wanted personally. And it doesn't have to be the same shape as in the show. It's pretty similar. It's not going to be 100% correct, and it's not 100% accurate to even the 3D model that I had found to use as reference. It's just my own version of it, and that's completely fine. So guys, that's about gonna wrap up the video. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this build personally. It was a lot of fun, not only because I personally like the show, and I know a lot of other people like the show, so I hope I did it some form of justice. But it was just a different creative outlet for me today. So it wasn't, you know, stereotypical house or something along the line of that. So I really hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I had a lot of fun doing it. Other than that, that's going to be about it. If you liked it, please leave a comment or a suggestion for another build. I'm totally open to ideas. I'm kind of running out, not gonna lie. Just kidding. But yeah, as always, be good people, do great things. Love you. Till next time. Goodbye.